as we get up with you. Starting right now on a Tuesday, Greeny, Graziano, and the Acumen is standing by and ready to go. Plenty of football conversation coming your way this morning, and look who we put together. Swagoo is here. Greg is here, so they'll fight. And Jeff Saturday is ready to hand out some pancakes this morning, but we begin with the game of the night in Los Angeles, Titletown, USA. Dodgers looking for a championship tonight. Rams looking for a win in the first ever Monday night game at SoFi. And Ron Donald and the Rams, the hosting role. First quarter, Rams in the red zone. Looking to break the huddle fast. I love it. And Jared Goff has got a quick snap, and he's looking in the corner, and that's Josh Reynolds. And that's a quick touchdown. Rams up 7-0. Goff threw for 219, 2 TDs. Second quarter, Bears down 7-3. This is Nick Foles. This we show you because it looked like a first down. And for the Bears offense, a first down seems like something to savor. But in this case, Jalen Ramsey's not even conceding that. Call is reversed. Bears would punt. It was that kind of night for the Chicago offense. Later in the quarter, Bears down 10-3, and the Rams D-line starting to make its presence felt. Oh, there's Donald. And Greg Gaines bringing Nick Foles down. Foles starting to feel the pressure more and more as the night would go on. Here comes an old friend. 2 plays later, Leonard Floyd, the former Bear, had 2 sacks against his old team last night. Rams stop him again. It's 10-3 going to the half. Rams 4 sacks on the night. Third quarter, same score. Rams 1st and 10. Goff, Malcolm Brown. Where's the tackling? Watch him squirt. Watch him go. He will not be stopped. Rams would rush for 161 yards. This one winds up all the way on the 1-yard line. And then to add injury to insult, Khalil Mack shaken up on the play. Next play, it's Malcolm Brown. He did all the dirty work. Let him get rewarded. There's the touchdown, and it's 17-3. Ensuing Bears drive, trying to get something going is Nick Foles, and it just wasn't to be. Down 17-3, Foles sliding, looking, throwing, picked. Taylor Rapp with the interception. 2 interceptions on the night for Foles. His QBR just 37. Rams win at 24-10. Bears struggles continue.
Obviously, stating the obvious, the offense, we got to get stuff figured out. It's not good enough, and to be outscored by your defense obviously is unacceptable too.
Ultimately, it does allow you to grow because it ultimately sucks, but you have to learn how to get through it. So that's the stage we're at as a team. We've been fortunate to come out back in some games, and this was not one of them.
Well, look, there's no other way to say it. The Bears' offense is terrible. They're towards the bottom of the league in points, in red zone, in third down. They were 4 for 14 on third down last night, failed to score in 2 red zone trips. Their defense outscored their offense last night, so it's a disaster. And let me bring the crew in here. And Jeff Saturday, you know all about playing on really good offenses. If you were to put your finger on what the biggest problem for the Chicago offense is right now, where are you putting it?
There's no plan for protection, Greeny. I mean, this is as ugly as it gets. They don't have any plan of how to protect Nick Foles, or if it was Trubisky or whoever is going to be the quarterback in Chicago. They don't understand how to get things blocked up. And when you look at last night, it told you everything. They can rush. The Rams could rush 4 and get pressure on Foles because he didn't know where to go with the ball, and they would green dog, which means bring the linebacker late if the running back goes to help, to add on that 5th rusher. And again, nobody understood. There was a great example of this when they were backed up in their own end zone. They missed. They had 2 guys trying to block 3. We call that happy hour, right? 2 for 3. Foles throws, the receiver double moves, doesn't get there in time, just miss. Well, guess what? You can't just miss in the NFL. You have to have a plan. Teams are going to bring pressure. You understand what everybody else's philosophy is defensively against you, but they're not answering the call. So at some point, Peyton Manning used to talk about this all the time. He cared as much about protection as he did route combination, and he would talk about protection first. Why? Because without protection, all those great plays don't mean a thing, Greeny. At some point, you got to protect that guy for 3 to 4 seconds so he can put the ball where it needs to go and go make plays on the back end. Just really disappointed because it's the same tape each week, and it doesn't get better. They had 36 dropbacks, 9 play action, 18 of pressure. You ain't going to win in the NFL that way.
Now, it's easy to ignore so much of the season because they're winning games. But last night on national TV, it just looks awful. Greg, how much of this is on the quarterback? How much of it is on Nick Foles?
Well, a decent amount. And if they're going to continue to have Nick Foles as their starting quarterback, they got to influx some creativity. And if you look at the other side, they're doing nakeds, they're doing boots. because Nick Foles is a dying breed. The statuesque, immobile quarterback is a thing of the past. And right now, this offensive line is struggling. There's no denying that. Jeff just hit on it. They are really, really bad in protection. You're going against Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, who's really mad with the chip on his shoulder, and a pretty dang good pass rushing group. And yet, you don't mix the snap count. You don't change the launch point by getting your quarterback out of the pocket. And honestly, guys, if they're not willing to change, the guy that gives them the best chance to win is Mitch Trubisky. Because at least he gives you a chance offensively because of his legs. He can create, he can run around, and yeah, he might throw a couple picks, but you know what? So be it. At least we're getting looks. Because last night, the way Foles was just stationary in the pocket, they're not going to be able to beat top level, top defense, top pass rushing teams, and that's what they're going to see in the playoffs. So ultimately, they got to get things figured out, or they need to really strongly consider going to the more mobile option of their two quarterback options.
That's an interesting. Well, then, Graziano, let me quickly go to you as my insider. Any reason to think that they're considering that?
Other than what we saw in the game last night, just watching it, no, the Bears coaching staff does not want to go back to Mitchell Trubisky. And this is a significant indictment on Trubisky and how they feel about him, because to Greg's point, he is a mobile quarterback. He's a mobile quarterback that just 3 years ago they traded up to select with the second overall pick in the draft. And now they're watching Nick Foles, no time to throw, losing games, and at this point they're not willing to go back to the high pick. So you have a team that's 5-2. They've managed to pull off some wins. They're playing great defense. But I really think, Greeny, that we're going to get to the end of this season and we're going to look at some games. There's always a game or two that stands out that's weird. How did the Bears beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? That's going to be one we're looking at in December going, man, that's a weird loss for Tampa Bay, because this Bears team has given up more points than it's scored, and that's no recipe for a winning team.
Well, so Swagoo, come on in here as my cleanup hitter, and let's put it to you as big picture as we can. For whatever else is going on here, this is a 5-2 football team. And as Graziano just said, they did beat Tampa Tom and the Buccaneers on a Thursday night. Is Chicago a playoff team in the NFC in your mind, Marcus Spears?
Hell no. And listen, this record is fool's gold. All right, Mr. Trubisky played out of his mind against the Lions and threw 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. For one quarter, he was great and significant. They had an opportunity against Tampa because Tampa imploded. We all saw what Tampa did. They had 40 penalties almost in the damn game, and it still was a close game. The problem with Chicago is all you had to do was look at the opposite of what they were last night. Sean McVay, shifts, motions, jet sweeps, changing leverage on the line of scrimmage. Nick Foles, Matt Nagy, line up, stay in the same formation, run the same plays I'm able to evaluate all throughout the year. That's the difference. So at any rate, this team wasn't going to win anything of significance anyway, but the defense is why we thought they could make a run. You ain't winning no championship just on defense anymore. Those days are long gone in the NFL.
There's the headline in tomorrow's Chicago Sun-Times. Marcus Spears says, story of yesterday, Odell Beckham Jr. will miss the rest of the season after an MRI revealed he tore the ACL in his left knee trying to make a tackle after an interception early in their game on Sunday. He will now have played in all 16 games just once over the last 4 seasons. And you're going to hear this repeatedly. In Baker Mayfield's first season in Cleveland, without Odell, he had a higher completion percentage, more yards per attempt. What's more, this season, he's averaging nearly 4 more yards per attempt when targeting anyone other than Beckham. I'm going to get to that part of it in a minute. But first, Marcus, this is a guy you know, an LSU guy, and he's one of the most interesting people in the NFL. So I guess I would ask you, where is he right now? In your mind, where is Odell Beckham at this moment in his career as he